Hi, I'm Georgie Rasco. I'm the Executive Director of Neighborhood Alliance of Central Oklahoma, and these are my helpful hints to help make HOA leadership a little bit more streamlined. The first helpful hint I want to share with you is on voting. It's oftentimes very, very confusing as to who has the correct vote, how many votes they're supposed to have. So I've often encouraged neighborhoods to use a paper plate system. Just invest in some simple paper plates from the dollar store. When people are coming in the evening at the voting, at the sign-in sheet, they need to, at that point is when they need to verify who has the vote, who has names are on the deed, what your covenants and your bylaws say. Every one of your documents are different, so make sure you follow your documents. If they get one vote per lot and they have 2 votes, then they're going to get 2 votes. If your documents allow you to have proxies, then you're going to be able to use proxies. But on those paper plates, you're going to determine at the sign-in sheet who has 1 vote per vote. That's if there's a husband and a wife both on the deed, they just get 1 vote per lot still. Not the husband and the wife each get a vote, just 1. So write a 1 on the paper plate and give it to the couple and let them decide who's going to take that vote. If they have 2 lots, then you're going to write a 2 on their paper plate because they get 2 votes for each vote that happens that night in the evening. If you have proxies, and your documents must say you have proxies in order to use proxies, but if you have them, hopefully you have some policies on how you're going to use them. But so use your policies. But if your proxies, somebody walks in and they have some proxies with them, then you're going to be able to allow them to use their proxies. Let's say they have them and their neighbor's proxy. So they have 2 votes for that evening, theirs and their neighbors. So you're going to write a 2 on their paper plate, and everything they vote for their evening is going to count for 2 votes. Now, if they say on their proxy, it says that they have, say you have something very controversial you're voting on that evening, and it's item number 3, and the proxy says that they only have 3 votes, they have them and their neighbor on each side of them on item number 3 only, then on the paper plate it's going to say 3, item number 3 only. So when item number 3 comes up for a vote, they can hold that up and the person can vote on that. Now they're also going to need a proxy, a paper plate for 1 vote, because on everything else they're only going to have 1 vote. But on item number 3, they're going to vote for 3 votes for that one when it comes time to voting. All of the systems have been taken care of at the sign-in sheet as to who gets what votes and how many votes. Now this doesn't take place of a roll call vote, but it can make things much more organized when it's time for voting inside your meeting. Thank you. Hi, this tip is for the very important Architectural Review Committee. We all know how important it is to have things that you're doing to the outside of your house, building anything or adding on anything, or even just painting or adding fencing. Have it approved and make sure that it is approved by your covenants. Make sure that the Architectural Review Committee or the ARC Committee has given you a stamp of approval for that project to be done. Nobody wants to put in an expensive fence only to find out that they have to take it out because it's not allowed by your covenants. So be a good neighbor. Make sure that your neighbors are aware that when they're doing some kind of construction work, that they've already gotten it approved by the board and hopefully through your Architectural Review Committee. One tip that your ARC can use is have your board invest in some simple campaign style signs. Now I encourage you to have some professionally made signs. I know you're shocked, but I made this one myself. You can put your neighborhood's logo on it and at the bottom put approved. The system is that once you have an Architectural Review Committee approval on a project, then they issue this sign to that address. Encourage those neighbors to put it by their front door, but visible to the street. And then everybody driving by knows that that project that they're doing has been approved. They don't have to worry about it. But when your neighbors are driving by, or the board or the ARC drives by and sees a project that does not have one of these signs, You can stop by and talk to them and say, let's get that approved before you spend any needless money. This is a great way of being a good neighbor and letting people know our covenants are there to protect our property values. We all signed up for them when we bought our property. Let's work together to make sure that they work for us.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow